Hi, I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I've been a trader for 8 years. I've been part of TheChartGuys for 7 years, and I am a trader and technical analyst with TheChartGuys. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the markets, a little bit of crypto, and a little bit of MJ. So let's get started. Apple clapped back. That is definitely the theme of today. Apple came in strong and with a vengeance. So let's get started with Apple since, my goodness, it's in the title. Apple, we got a daily higher high. However, we have the daily 50 MA overhead that we can't forget is there at 189.54. However, we are in gap fill territory, and that gap fills at 191.73. So Apple got an upgrade, and then the suspension of the Apple Watch sales is now lifted because they took the pulse ox thing off or they disconnected the operability or whatever of the Apple Watch. And so it was a real boost for Apple, and we got a gap up, and the gap up was maintained. Bears were unable to even get near yesterday's high. And that was really the theme of the day. When you look at the daily chart, the 5-minute chart, you can see the morning strength, and we were unable to get a new lower low on the day when the market made a lower low, and that just showed Apple's strength. And that's a good sign. When you see a name keeping a higher low while the market's making a lower low, watch that name for a long. Google did it and Apple did it today, intraday. While the market was breaking down, it was maintaining its low of day. So let's get back to ES. And I just want to cover real quickly. I have my notes off screen. I'll copy and paste these notes in the TCG room in the video thread when I'm done. Retail sales data tomorrow, that's a 3-star event. Next week, we have GDP, PCE, and Netflix earnings. Then the following week, the week of January 29th, that is the Super Bowl of earnings. We have Apple, we have Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon, and we also have the FOMC interest rate decision. So just know we have a lot of events coming up. So I just still have this hurry up and wait feeling with the market, and I can't shake it, meaning that I think the market could continue this EQ pattern. We'll see. Bulls showed a lot of interest today. There was a lot of money, obviously, on the sidelines that was interested in being put to work today, but we're still in an EQ. We have our daily lower high at 4838 and then 484150. We have support now set at 474625. So on NQ was able to make a higher high. So Dan brought you the video yesterday, and he went over the QQQ daily equilibrium. Well, now we got a bull break. So if you just look at QQQ, you see, oh, wait, we got a new higher high. No, we did dividend adjust it, but we really have to focus on the futures. The futures did not get over that December 28th high, where QQQ did adjust it for dividends. So I'm going to focus on futures and still show that we have a significant resistance still at 17165. All right, Bitcoin dump this morning. I'm going to kind of lay out the day. The Bitcoin dump this morning was a canary. It started dumping earlier in the morning. Let's see, right in here. And these times that you always see on my charts are mountain time. So we started dumping way before the market started dumping. It was a little bit of a canary. Then let's go look at QQQ. So that was our canary. Then QQQ double topped 412.99. Zoom out. 412.99 and 412.92. We double topped. And as soon as we double topped, we rejected. And we found a low of day when the dollar found a high of day. So we're still running pretty inverse to the dollar. So just remember that. So QQQ double topped, and then it came back strong. So bears were unable to reclaim the prior day high, meaning re-enter the prior day's range. That is a sign of significant strength. And look what happened with SPY. Bears were able to push it down into yesterday's range, and then we got a tweezer bottom on the 15-minute chart and bounce. I love when we have a confluence of all these signals of the dollar finding a top, SPY holding a double bottom on the 15-minute and maintaining yesterday's high. That is a sign of strength, and that is a long signal. Remember, gap rules don't apply just at market open. They're applicable anytime during the day. So this was a long signal here with SPY tweezer bottom. So we have RTY with a daily inside bar. Did that maintain into the end of day? Yes. So we have the Russell with a daily inside bar at the daily 50 MA. We're looking for a weekly higher low. This may be the next shoe to drop if we can break this daily inside bar to the bull side with RTY. So IWM was strong today, but it definitely did not lead the pack. So maybe it's getting time for growth names again. We'll see. And that could help cannabis stocks as well. We have the Dow. The Dow was here. We got a daily double bottom, but it definitely didn't show a lot of strength. XLV and XLF started out weak, so that makes sense as to why the Dow didn't have a stellar day. We didn't get to a daily higher high, but we still had a strong, very strong recovery. Looking at the VIX, we still have that potential two-week bear flag. Let me show you here. I've been showing you that for a while now. So we have the 2-week bear flag, and I was mapping this resistance 1558, 1540 double top. So we still have this 2-week bear flag. Yesterday was VIX expiration, and we had VIX rollover today. We have an hourly EQ right now, but overall pretty weak underneath the EMAs. Bitcoin confirmed that daily bear flag. So we were able to hold on just barely to this 40625. We hit 40600. I would still call that a double bottom, but we're in a daily downtrend nonetheless. The dollar was strong. And I want to show you, I think it's on the 15-minute, yeah, right here. When the dollar on the 15-minute EQ set that lower high, let's jump to the market. That's exactly where, see, this is 11 a.m., 11:10 a.m. This is mountain time again. This is where the market found the bottom, where the dollar found the lower high and then rolled over and broke that 15-minute EQ to the bearish side. So we need to see the dollar keep coming down for market bulls to get to some continuation. All right. On the dollar, we had the weekly bear flag negated. I'm just going through my notes. I want to be as linear as possible. This is, again, a newer thing for me, as y'all know, this year for me to do it more consistently. So I want to be as linear as my brain will allow me to be. So here on the weekly chart, we could be forming an inverse head and shoulders here. Let me just draw it instead of fake drawing it. So we've negated that weekly bear flag. So that is not good for market bulls. So going into this week, I was looking at the VIX 2-week bear flag, the potential bear flag, the dollar potential bear flag, and ES and NASDAQ potential weekly bull flag, saying that was confluence good for market bulls. Well, the dollar has negated that weekly bear flag. They have made enough room for a weekly higher low, and that could be important going forward for the market. Gold, I've been watching this daily trend line. We're trying to reclaim it here, but overall, nice move with the slight dollar weakness, but we're still looking for a 4-hour lower high on gold. Oil, daily 50 MA overhead, the lower high is the more likely scenario. So right there, that daily 50 MA. So we got this higher high, we got a higher low, but due to the size of this retracement, a lower high would be logical compared to 75.17 and then testing this daily 50 MA overhead. But I would say that the oil bulls had a strong showing today on inventory, so we'll see if the bulls can get continuation. But I would not be bullish here on oil with a daily 50 MA overhead. We had XLF with a potential weekly bull flag. So on the daily, we lost support, and this looks pretty atrocious that we lost daily support. We did not lose the daily 50 RSI. We've lost the daily EMAs, but these bear breaks are not getting follow through. They're just not. And we've had some bank earnings that weren't that great. XLE had a poor showing today, but we did get a long lower wick of bulls buying the dip, and they went up to test the high of day toward the end of day and got a new high of day. That was quite impressive, as XLE has been our laggard leader. Looking at XLV, it had quite a recovery considering we had Humana earnings at open and they were down 10% in pre-market. And XLV fell hard on that news, and then they recovered and they really led the way toward the end of the day. Very strong recovery. And then we talked about Apple just being the beast that it is, led us today. Apple did have an upgrade. I think I mentioned that, and they had that lift on the ban of the Apple Watch sales and that daily 50 MA overhead. Microsoft, this keeps happening to Microsoft. I've been watching Microsoft a little more closely than I usually do, where you have a gap up on news, and this morning it was an upgrade, and then it just gives it back. But y'all, look at this beautiful hold of the prior day high. If you're not marking off the prior day high and low on your charts, I strongly suggest that you do. It is very good support and resistance, because if we're not identifying support and resistance, what are we doing? How can you trade without it? Price action is the most important thing that we have on our charts. And this is just a beautiful example of prior day high, former resistance serving as support. All right, NVIDIA, same as Microsoft, they had to upgrade. They gave a lot back. Bears were able to re-enter the prior day range a little bit more, but I would say the bulls had an impressive recovery. AMD, same thing. They were able to enter the prior day high, and that's this green line. They had an upgrade, but gave a lot back, more back than what bulls would have liked to have seen. So it kind of shifted from semis being the boss at the beginning of the day, and then they just gave it at the opening and they gave it all up, and then XLF and XLV turned the jets on it. But it was quite a recovery on semis toward the end of the day. MSOS, everyone's looking for that daily high or low. We're at the daily 8 EMA. We were watching for hourly oversold, and that would have happened around, at the time I marked at 789, now 787. If we could open up with some type of gap down situation and around 787 and hold, that would be great. In which tomorrow morning it'll be updated just slightly into hourly oversold, a gap down. I would welcome that long opportunity, but then on a bounce, we'd be looking for a daily lower high without any news from the government. All right, then we had Tesla. Tesla was weak today, super, super weak. We had this daily double bottom of 212. We broke it, and then we got trapped below the prior day low. Tesla, my grandma would say, they can't hold water. They're just very, very weak. We're still holding this 205 level. I should show you that on the daily. This 205.69, we're still holding it, but that body engulf, yeah, we have a bearish engulfing candle on the day outside bar. Tesla bears were really large and in charge today on an overall green day. Tesla just can't shake it. It's like someone's done armadillo voodoo on them. All right. And I wanted to point out when when the market made a new low of day, QQQ, around that 1110 mark I showed you earlier, and SPY, Google did not. So Google and Apple would have been those candidates that you target for longs once the market finds its footing and starts bouncing. Look for those names that held the low of day and didn't make a new low of day. Those are the names you want to target longs on. And then ARM had a beautiful showing today, and I just want to show you here. 2 months ago, November 27th, I posted in our swing trade channel. It's a semiconductor name, this profitable company. No major ETFs have bought this newer IPO. It's a logical name for ETFs to buy. Keep it on the watch list. ARM was mentioned as in NVIDIA's earnings call. And then I posted my entry at $61. I'm down to a 50% position of ARM. I sold back here on this push up into 78. One of these 2 days I sold some, and I sold some early on as well, but I still have a small position left. So overall, this is how I look up whether a stock is in ETFs. You click on etfdb.com, stock exposure tool, and then you just put in what stock you're looking at, and it'll tell you which major ETFs hold it. At the time that I posted this, we only had 2 tiny ETFs holding ARM, and now we have 6. So that's what I was looking for, was this push up from possibly ETFs buying or just general institutions adding it to their portfolio. So I think that's it for the market recap video. I have a video for you, I believe at the end, that Jason will tag on, of me riding around my parents' farm, showing you the new maternity ward that we have for our cows and calf. And my dad and I were driving over there on the golf cart to set up the maternity ward for the new bull calf. So at least you'll see the farm. All right, thanks for being here, and use stop losses.